When you have a team, a special forces team, like every single person on that team is capable. They're like, hey, sir, like, we understand that you want to see the team succeed, but we need you to understand where your lane is, and we need you to stay in it.
And when I walk down and I'm actually speaking to 120 people that are looking at me, and I'm having somebody translate because they speak 5 separate languages, and they're looking up to me and taking everything that I'm teaching them and applying it, the light bulb goes on.
We're training people to replace us because I'm not going to stick around forever, but I still want the world to go around in this environment.
Welcome to another episode of Straight Up Big Ideas with Dave Howard. I'm really excited today to have our 3 distinguished guests here with the U.S. Army Special Operations. We've had a great morning session, and I'm looking forward to our afternoon sessions. But while we have some time, we thought we'd ask you 3 some great questions. But instead of me introducing you, why don't you introduce yourself? So we'll start with you.
I am Warrant Officer WO1 Elyssa Awbrey. I work with human intelligence, and I'm a human intelligence technician for 3rd Special Forces Group. I have 14 years of experience within the intelligence community, specifically working with human beings and their daily interactions.
I'm a Chief Warrant Officer, James Awbrey. In 3rd Special Forces Group, I've deployed pretty much like all over the world, Africa, Afghanistan, worked in embassies. I have quite a bit of experience under my belt. So,
Hey, Captain Antonio Allende. I'm Commander, Special Forces Operational Attachment Alpha 3311 down at Fort Bragg. Been a commander for about 2 years now with deployment under my belt to Northwest Africa.
So we have some questions here, and we always like to give you an opportunity to kind of share your aha moments. And the first question is, what was your aha moment when you truly understood your roles and strengths within the team?
So my first aha moment was when I went downrange for the first time, which is deploying for the first time. You go through a bunch of training and you repetitively go through roles and responsibilities, but when you get down range and you're in the actual position, you get to see all of those pieces fall into place, and that was my aha moment.
Great. James?
yeah, not to kind of like piggyback off of her, but I have a very similar experience. So
By the way, you two are related.
we are. This is my wife right here. So we're
Wanted our
dual
audience.
military family. So
Uh-huh.
it's kind of interesting to be able to come home and actually talk work. So it's a little bit different than the majority person, but yeah, very similar situation. So just something about Green Berets is we train to be able to advise up to a battalion size element. So you're talking about hundreds of soldiers underneath that, and be able to advise their commanders and different staff functions, which kind of make everything and the systems and processes work. But it was my first deployment in Niger. We were working with some people out there that we had trained, basically started from scratch. And when I walk down and I'm actually speaking to 120 people that are looking at me, and I'm having somebody translate because they speak 5 separate languages,
Oh, wow.
and they're looking up to me and taking everything that I'm teaching them and applying it to their tactics, light bulb goes on.
Yeah,
Very
that's
cool.
definitely an aha.
So
Hope I'm saying the right thing.
yeah, right. So
And what about you, Tony?
So my aha moment was a little different. It was also my first deployment. It was to Cote d'Ivoire. For me, I was a brand new
Cote
commander.
d'Ivoire?
Cote d'Ivoire, so Ivory Coast, Northwest Africa.
Uh-huh.
I was a brand new commander. I had just taken the team down to Cote d'Ivoire, and I was doing too much. When you have a team, a special forces team, like every single person on that team is capable.
Right.
Every single one of them is an alpha type personality. And I was kind of stepping into their lanes and doing their jobs a little bit. So my first aha moment was actually when the team sat me down. They're like, hey, sir, like, we understand that you want to see the team succeed, but we need you to understand where your lane is, and we need you to stay in it. Because we can all do our jobs. We can all do it well. So that was a gut punch to me, but it was the kind of feedback I needed to make adjustments and improve as a commander.
Well, and I think all of us need those kind of moments where, we can be too far into the weeds sort of thing, and somebody needs to bring us back. So that is so relevant even in our business. Next question. Tony, you talk to a lot of alpha people in the room. When do you know when to step back and not be the alpha in the room? Said a lot of alphas there.
Right. Yeah. No, I think there's an importance to self-awareness. There's an importance to understanding that the alphas that you work with are all very good at certain things. For me, what works for me is having confidence in the people to my left and to my right. And so I know that some guys can do things better than me. And if I'm talking to my engineer or I'm talking to my communications expert, I know that he's the alpha that can talk this specific piece much better than I ever could. So that's when I take that step back and I let my guys do their jobs.
Totally agree, right? Um, I think that applies to business life as well, is that somebody's going to be maybe more skilled than the leader, but sometimes the leader needs to talk less and listen more. So that applies in our world as well. Elyssa, ready? You talk about building a foundation for yourself and or a company. Does this foundation ever change, or is it an immediate known, meaning you know and you stick to it forever?
With every phase of your life and phase of the company. So we look outside today and we see the world changing around us. Those foundations, they will for the most part stay the same, but you will also adjust with the environment around you. So originally I started with my foundation, family and country. But over the years, I've added to that foundation, and it's okay to adjust that foundation to what you learn over the years. And as you learn, it's imperative for you to adjust that foundation or add to that foundation.
So adaptability.
Absolutely.
You know, you can have your basic core, but you have to be able to adapt to current situations and the events around you.
Absolutely.
Very good. Next is for all three of you. What would you say to the youngest person in the room that wants to be the next leader? What are some tips or guidance that you can give to that next leader out there?
What I would say is, I think as far as tips and guidance goes, is be open to feedback. Look at the people around you, the people that are in positions that you one day want to be, and seek them out as mentors. Look at their positive attributes and see what you might be able to ascertain or gather out of the way that they conduct business. And it's not only just accepting that feedback, but being able to kind of work that feedback into your day to day and then just improve. You know, action is everything. And I think if you want to be a leader, you need to learn how to take responsibility, accept good critical feedback, build that feedback into your day to day and improve.
So listening skills are huge. My grandfather used to say, God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. And that is so true, right? What about you?
I like to look at that question as more of like an approach. I instructed for about 3.5 years, but then on my day-to-day interaction, I look at everybody as a future leader. So I think as a senior person or upper echelon in a corporate company, you're looking around and everybody's going to be the future leader. Nobody's proved you wrong at that point.
Right.
So it's really you as a leader to develop those people out. I think Captain Allende, Tony over here, he highlighted on the feedback and giving that positive reinforcement where it's due, and then critical and constructive criticism where it's needed. But really taking that approach that everybody around you is eventually going to be a future leader, whether it's for my kids or in my same organization. I think it can only benefit your company or, in our case, our regiment, right?
So the expectation is when you come in, you're expected to learn how to be a leader.
Yes.
You're not going to be a follower. You're going to be a leader of men and women. And with that, you have to learn a lot. But most people that want to be leaders have a natural tendency as well, right? What about you?
And then for me, when I look at younger generation and identifying that leader, I look at are they taking the initiative? Are they stepping up to the task? Are they identifying critical gaps within what we're supposed to be doing? Are they able to fill that without being told to fill those roles? That's what I look at in a leader. I also try to identify, are they capable of leading younger generations as well? Kind of to piggyback off of what my husband said, we're training people to replace us because I'm not going to stick around forever, but I still want the world to go around in this environment.
Sure.
So, training them to replace us, and they will have to train others to replace them as well. And that's imperative for a leader.
Well, I think that's what keeps the world going around, right? The semblance of leadership so the next generation can do more and better things than our generation. I think that's been the way since man started, right?
Mhm.
Working their way up. So great answers. James, what would you say is the largest crossover between a corporate professional and a Green Beret?
This question
That's a good
actually,
question.
it's a very good question. And in the process of us developing out what we discussed earlier today, we hit some different foundations. I mean, you were able to pass us some prompts, but I mean, in there you have time management. You have basically situational awareness, working through situations. I think one of the biggest ones that we highlighted this morning was just working through failure and how you use that as just an obstacle on your road trip, not the end of the road for that road trip. But those parallels absolutely correlate. I mean, yes, we have a little bit more physical stuff and we're going out and putting ourselves in a more dangerous atmosphere. But as far as like the teamwork and the unity, I think that the corporate sector and what we spoke about today absolutely has parallels with the military. And I think that's why, prior service people are so appetizing to corporate companies out there, because they come and that's our foundation. Kind of a standard product, and then you could build off of that.
Totally
Yeah.
agree there.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys ready for a couple more questions that aren't on here?
Sure.
All right, here we go. Let's start with Tony. What is something about you that most people don't know?
Personally,
Yeah.
like a big cinephile, so I'm a big movie guy.
Ah,
Like I spend a lot of time like watching film, kind of breaking film down. Like to me, that's like the hobby at the end of the day when it's time to decompress.
what's your
And
favorite film?
Goodfellas.
Goodfellas. No kidding.
Yeah. Goodfellas,
Okay.
Martin Scorsese classic. Like
Uh-huh.
probably, in my opinion, I know it's controversial. It's my favorite, probably the best, I guess, mafia movie out there. Knowing The Godfather exists, but
Which
uh,
Godfather? 1, 2, or 3?
1 and 2 are wonderful.
Right.
3 leaves a little bit desired, but it's fine.
All right. Movie buff.
Movie.
What about you?
That's an interesting one.
That's why I throw them out.
Yeah. I don't know.
You have nothing that nobody, you don't
Yeah.
stand on your head till your ears are turning red or anything? Nothing.
He does.
Does he? What is he?
Yes, he
All
loves
right.
to hunt.
He loves to
He's
hunt.
he's an avid hobbyist. Like he finds new hobbies to go around.
Okay, well,
and
that's cool, right?
add to
Yeah.
his resume of hobbies.
Yeah, I think that
Do you paint miniature toy soldiers?
no. I'm trying to think of something like the team. Yeah. I mean, I'm an extreme extrovert, so my weekends I talk about pretty frequently. I talk about my problems, and we talk about conspiracies,
All the
which
time.
I could really dig into this guy because he is not a conspiracy theorist. I like to jab at him and quote Joe Rogan and all the other ones
You
out there.
guys watch Sean Ryan?
We do.
Episode 84. Which one was that?
I don't know.
What about you?
So I actually, on my free time, I love to read books. I'm an avid reader. I'll go through like in 1,000-page book in a day and a half
Really?
and just enjoy it.
Hardcover.
Oh, absolutely.
No audiobooks?
Sometimes I do audiobooks, but that's if I'm in the car driving long distance.
And what's your
Uh,
favorite book?
Oh, it might be. I've been reading a lot of Sarah J. Maas. Not your typical read, but it's fantasy books,
What kind of fantasy?
uh, including dragons and
Yeah, she'll talk
Yeah.
about it all the time.
I
Okay.
do. I like to disassociate from reality sometimes
Yeah,
through
I don't blame
reading
you, right?
books. Yeah.
All right. Another question. What is your favorite sport and why?
Basketball, I would say. It goes back to teamwork. Like one player, LeBron James can carry a team only for so long. At the end of the day, you need a team around him that's going to support and that's going to get the job done. And we've seen it throughout his career. So I think it kind of goes in the flavor of the conversation all day. I like basketball because everybody plays a part.
And if one's down, it's kind of hard for the rest of the team to fill that spot,
Mhm.
right? It's a good one. What about you?
Last night I changed my favorite sport.
Hockey.
No, it's better than this. Professional axe throwing.
Really? They actually
yes,
have a
they have
professional axe
professional.
league?
And there's a world champion. I watched the entire thing, which was riveting.
Kidding.
Throughout the entire process as they hone down the bigger target, and then they finally get into like the death challenge that's this micro dot. And so I think I'm going to start really picking that up as a favorite sport and hobby.
Well, there's a lot of trees around here. You have your pick. Right?
yeah.
And what about you?
My favorite sport is softball. I grew up my entire life playing softball all the way through high school, and I'll pick up a bat and ball, glove, whatever, and get out there and play. Even to this day. Yeah.
All right. Another question is we tend to get ourselves in situations in the real estate business, and I'm sure it's the same in your endeavor of things that we weren't anticipating when we went into this meeting. And is there something that you can talk about that you were part of and you weren't really quite sure how to handle it at the time?
Yeah, I think I kind of mentioned a story earlier back from Afghanistan. And you got to think like most of our interaction, it's cross cultures, different languages. You might have a linguist, and even in that environment, that linguist doesn't exactly speak the dialect.
Right.
So you have a perfect plan going into a meeting. You think everything's going to be right. But I had like one funny instance. We were in Nangarhar. This is right as ISIS was really making a push and taking over a lot of territory out in Afghanistan. And honestly, the Afghanis, most of them were foreign fighters. They didn't want them there. So that we thought at this point that all the other major stakeholders in the area were all on the same page. That we were there, we were going to kind of work in conjunction. We were setting up some other things that we could get more assistance from the Afghanis that
You're just
reside
in
there.
a house or
Yeah,
a
so
building, just
we're
sitting
actually in
down
like a
next to a bunch of people.
bombed out building. It wasn't great living conditions, but it was exactly what we should have been doing. And I still look back and it's probably one of the more interesting times and funner times. But during that meeting, I mean, this is a high profile meeting. I noticed that our linguist and the person that we're having a meeting, they're just screaming, which is not normal for us. When we see, some of those verbal and nonverbal cues,
Right.
we immediately hone in on it. So it became a challenge. Typical Afghani fashion, they say, no, this is just normal. This is, expected. This is what happens. He says that he's good. But really, it's up
That
to
freak
you.
out.
Exactly, to freak out. Ultimately, all the guy really wanted was more support and to kind of be brought in because there's another person that's more powerful than him. So he wanted to be brought into the fold more.
So power struggle.
Power struggles. That was
Interesting.
one of the biggest things that we had to deal with, I think, in that region, especially when you're talking about tribes. And at that point, we had established a government out there, but even different portions of that government had their own power and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's being able to read the room.
Yeah.
Luckily, we're all trained on how to pick up different cultural norms. We do a lot of knowledge exchanges and stuff with different cultures. and being able to take something that was about to get derailed, maybe from an argument between a linguist and somebody that we needed to work with, and then get the meeting right back on track. And I'd really fall back on the training and everything that we do
Sounds like that's
preemptively.
super important.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dealing with any type of human, right?
Mhm.
Well, thank you. That's very good. Thank you. All right, last question,
Yes, sir.
because we got to go do another training. You all three have children, obviously, right? Um, what do you want your kids to think or learn from what you are talking about today? They come back and look at this in 10 years. What does mom, dad, and dad say that really is impacting for your children?
I think one thing that I want them to take away from this is it takes a lot of effort to get to where you want to go in life. And it's not sitting down playing video games, watching TV like the rest of the generation is doing right now, but it's actually getting up and doing the thing to be successful in life. I
There are no workarounds.
Right. My whole goal in life is to raise successful children that are contributing members of society. And hopefully they could take a look at this today and they could go, oh, wow, mom actually achieved this in life.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's a great answer. What about you, Dad?
Yeah, I mean, have to kind of support my wife on this because they're the same children. But
Well,
yeah,
I would hope so.
it's a weird time, you know. Like I'll come home and I'm like, yeah, I jumped off an airplane, and our kids are like, oh, that's cool. But they have no concept of like what we actually do. I mean, they'll even be sitting there like playing like a Call of Duty type of video game.
But
on,
10 years from now,
10 years from now,
they will.
they will absolutely. And I think those values that we learn in the military without kind of imposing the military discipline to the point that they completely get turned off.
Right.
But having them value work, having them value human interaction, and really seeing the end results and the end state of everything, and having a plan, I think is invaluable.
Oh, that's good. What about you, Dad?
Well, I would tell her I did this because I wanted to test myself. I'll tell her that, adversity is a part of life. If you want to achieve great things, you have to overcome quite a bit to get there. But I think at the end of the day, like, whatever she wants to do, Dad, I'll support. And that, there's a lot in life that you can spend your time doing. And at the end of the day, all I'd ask is that she would do what makes her happy.
Ah, I think that's awesome. All three of those are great answers. And I think that says it all. So thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for your service, first and foremost. But thank you for being here today and helping, 60-something people in our group that everybody I've talked to since our first meeting has said how great that was. And we really appreciate it. So that's because of you three. So thank you very much.
And thank you for giving us this opportunity.
Yeah, thank you.